Malton is located in the region of Peel. It is bordered by Highway 427 to the east, Steeles Avenue to the north, Airport Road to the west, and Toronto International Airport to the south.
I think Malton is a beautiful, resilient, dynamic, diverse, vibrant community. That's how I see Malton.
Heart of Mississauga is in Malton because of the diversity, culturally, ethnically, and of course because it's such a intimate town that we are more closely knit.
Malton started off as a farming community.
Malton was identified by Great Britain as one of the Air Force bases for fighter planes to fly out of.
And then the Italians are white, but the speech became Italian back. Then the black population started to come in. Then the South Asians started coming in. So it's really, really a melting pot.
Malton started out as an agricultural community, and today it has developed into such a modern place to be.
The development of Malton can be hugely contributed to the support of political leaders, community leaders, religious leaders, schools, residents, and businesses.
The one and only Westwood Mall underwent major transformation through time. It started off with a few stores, and it was renovated to include Walmart and many more stores. This was soon evolved to Westwood Square, the largest South Asian mall in Canada. Two organizations are really working to develop and improve Malton are the Malton Black Development Association to help the Black community and the Punjabi Community Health Services to help the South Asian community.
Now we have Malton United working on the Malton Community Building Project.
People are emigrating with their technology.
The education system in Malton has developed to a great extent, with public schools, private schools, and several support programs for youth and adults provided by community agencies such as the Malton Neighborhood Services, the Library, CET, and Adult Learning Center.
Malton is constantly moving forward, which shows that the community is thriving, it's growing.
Malton has been stereotyped and has a reputation that it truly does not deserve. Newcomers may not have high-paying jobs while they have to wait for their educational qualifications evaluated. This does not mean that Malton has poor people living in it. Many of them actually have a high level of education.
It didn't get the same attention that it should have got from Mississauga, the city of Mississauga, and I think from the provincial government, and I think even the federal government. They didn't give Mississauga or Malton enough attention, and the rest of Mississauga got a lot of attention. A lot of buildings were built, and a lot of things were made, but it wasn't as good of a direction taken, and Malton should have been built on.
Yeah, I would like to change people's perception and attitudes about Malton. I think that a lot of people who don't know Malton have a preconceived notion about Malton that is completely incorrect.
We helped bring the food bank up here for setup for people who need to use the food bank, and we created a hockey league for kids who have never played hockey before, kind of a low-cost opportunity to try hockey at the Malton Arena, because the Malton Arena wasn't being used for house league. So with the help of some of the dads in the community, we created the Shinny Hockey League.
Until you actually come here and you start working here, you realize how nice and friendly and warm the people are. And remember, people in Malton have come from different lands. And to put them all together, they move into an area and all the languages and all the different cultures, and they live and they work well together.
When you come to Malton, you can really see the whole community working together.
We have dedicated and committed citizens like Ms. Peterson and Mrs. Burrows.
I would say about 33 years I've been doing community work in Malton.
Thursday afternoons, I think I'm probably the only councillor that's ever had office hours right in Malton.
Our trustee, Mr. Rick Williams, he is exceptional. He loves his school, he's always in the school, and he supports his schools 100%.
3 years ago, I was blessed to be Woman of the Year by the TCHC. I'm of every race and every creed.
So I'd say the residents focus on your success, the things you've done well. Be united.
We've got after school programs for the younger middle school age, but I think teens some of them don't have enough to do.
In the past, been what we call a priority community, and so there are often additional funds available for priority communities. And CIP, Community Improvement Plan, that's additional funds for Malton, and that will look at a whole range of things, as well as what more parks we need, what more investment we need in infrastructure, and more funding will be available hopefully as well. So those are very good things that will be underway.
United, it takes a village to raise a child.
Malton is a multicultural community. But what is multiculturalism?
Canada has always been a multicultural society. That's one of the things, reason a lot of people come to Canada, because it's openness to invite people from all over the world. Multiculturalism to me is a blending of all the people that come to Canada.
Students connect with each other, crossing different cultures, making connections, realizing that we have more in common than we do apart.
The highlight of the Malton community is when the diverse population comes together to celebrate various multicultural events.
Sikh prayer is a big day for all the Sikhs. They walk singing songs and chanting prayers.
Eid Mubarak, Afghan.
Diwali is a festival of lights. It is celebrated by both Hindus and Sikhs.
Every single year, Morningstar has Multifest. We have over 500. All the parents turn out to Multifest. The kids perform different cultural activities. Doesn't matter where you're from, you present your cultural activities, and then we feast afterwards. All the parents bring in different dishes, and we sit around and we enjoy. We enjoy different foods, the taste, the flavor, the excitement of the events, the dances, the shows that we do. The kids dressed in their traditional wear. It's great to have that. Multifest is one of the biggest, one of the big events we have at Morningstar. The Gurdwara, for example, when we have Multifest, they're one of the places that actually donate food to our Multifest. So that's a private school, a private religious school, and we're a Peel public school. And the two of us work together because we're all doing it for the Malton community.
Malton Neighborhood Services is a non-profit organization providing free settlement and community support services.
Malton has had its challenges in the past. There are programs coming up, but I also mentioned that we are not where we're supposed to be, so there still needs to be a lot happening. There still needs to be a lot of, services and programs that have to be offered to youth and children and adults.
Malton Festival was for all the students in Malton, all the Malton community. And as together, that's unique of Malton, where groups will work together. I belong to it's called the Malton Building Block, Community Building Block project. And the first year, it was a combination of funding for, we got money for help the Black community and our youths. And the second year, we got funding for the South Asian community and the youths. And now this year, we've got funding. But it's not the Black community and South Asian community, it's Malton United. And the Malton United Committee is helping all the youths in Malton. That's unique to Malton. That shows, and it's all community members, people who, your mom, your dad, your grandmother, that all volunteered to work in Malton. They're all part of that committee that's helping students in Malton.
I love it. I think it's great to see. It makes me feel like I'm traveling the world. Like if you get to go to a festival and you see people from Jamaica or from Trinidad, and then you go to another festival and see people from Hong Kong or China, and you go to another festival and see people from South America and see another culture. It's like you're traveling and you get to experience the different worlds, different parts of the world.
Malton itself, as we've said before, is a very vibrant community with a very rich cultural background. Many cultures come here to live, work, and make this their home. And I think that Malton is an excellent place, excellent example for the rest of the country.
Instead of looking at our society as multicultural, we can look at our society as diverse and inclusive, so that we don't think of it as there's our culture and those cultures, but our culture as Canadians or as Maltonians is diverse.
Unity!
Have you been wondering why Malton has an unhealthy environment because of the airport?
Yep, Jasmine, I've heard a lot of that too. Let's go find out.
Malton is a community with many parks and trails in it. Children and families love them.
Many children and families use these trails for activities such as biking, jogging, running, and much more.
The trails are peaceful, quiet, and natural.
As long as the environment is clean and there is nothing to threaten the health, I am happy with it.
I think it's cleaner. We've enforced a lot of property standards. We've been on the Parks and Rec people to help clean the parks, make them cleaner. We've done a number of park cleanups ourselves and tree plantings, so we're making it greener, we're planting more trees, and we're keeping it cleaner. The flooding impacted us a lot, created a lot of debris. The ice storm brought a lot of trees down as well, and that was a big problem. And then we learned that we have little pests in some of our trees.
The emerald ash bear is a pest that lives inside ash trees.
It eats through the trees and destroys them.
That's very sad.
Another problem in Malton is that it's been infested by the Asian longhorn beetle. We must take down these trees and contain the bug so that Canada's lumber industry will not be impacted.
We have more public transit entering in Malton. We're having the monorail from airport to the Union Station now. And we have CP rail here.
Many people think that the industries are major contributors to pollution.
However, industries use scrubbers to make the air extra clean. The Malton Community Garden was a community initiative supported by many agencies and the city of Mississauga.
With so many airplanes flying in and out of Malton, most people think that it's a very polluted area.
They are very, very environmentally friendly at the airport. In fact, there's a group called Partners in Project Green. It greens the environment that the people at the GTAA at the airport help sponsor. They partner. They're one of the largest partners. And whatever environmental measures are new and exciting, they employ. They're always cutting edge, looking for ways to help protect the environment around the airport and in the airport.
If something arises in the community, if there's something unsafe that's affecting the environment, in terms of it could be anything from a chemical spill or something like that, we immediately treat public safety as a number one factor. And our job at that point would be to notify any agencies that need to be notified if there's an environmental problem that's affecting the citizens, get them involved, and try to correct the problem.
We could use a couple more parks because, as I said, the community is growing. There's a lot of young people in the community.
We have a new park planned. Malton Village Park behind the Gurdwara, on the other side of Airport Road. Yeah. That's going to be a fabulous new park. It's going to have basketball and tennis courts. And there's a baseball there now, and we're going to put cricket on top of the baseball.
I think they treat it fair enough, but we still need to be educated more on it because still some people, I think, they're misunderstanding what is environment and what is the cause of it and how it can protect us. So we need to train people more on it, especially the students then.
If people are out there doing something that's causing problems, if they're spray painting, if they're doing vandalism, if they're doing mischief to the parks, that's something that the police need to know about and we need to get involved in, because it is against the law to destroy property, to spray paint, to vandalize, or to destroy property that's part of the community.
Moisture Middle School is on Ontario Eco School.
As an Ontario Eco School, we have many awareness and information sessions.
We engage in community and park cleanups, tree planting activities, we have a recycling program, and we conserve energy in schools, and many more.
Normally, schools are really busy during Earth Days and Eco Days. However, some students forget their responsibility during other days.
We should all remember to walk to school, use the trails, clean up garbage, and not idle cars.
For many years, Malton has been stereotyped as a place with students with a lack of motivation and with schools that have a lack of standards. For this same reason, some of our students have moved out of Malton.
Malton's a great place to work. I chose to teach here many years ago and placed here as a principal. It's a close-knit community where you don't experience that in other places of Mississauga or the Greater Toronto area. So I would think that's false. I think working in Malton and connecting with many of the community agencies, I find it to be a very close-knit community that works together and takes care of them.
Malton is actually very different because of the people here. Staying here is the school difference. And back home we don't have these kinds of program like the early child care centers and everything. It gives a very good opportunity for our parents to learn something new, like how to discipline the kid without spanking them.
In Brampton, compared to here's a lot safe, and there's extracurricular activities like after school programs like you could do at the community center.
I went to this school at the end of grade 6, and I think I like this school better. In my old school, a lot of violence there, and there's a lot more programs that are suitable for many kids here in many different subjects.
I believe the schools in Malton are very good schools. I've seen wonderful students come out of the schools becoming doctors and lawyers and teachers and social workers and community activists. We have great students coming out of Malton because the schools are good schools.
People hear about the negative things about school, but they don't necessarily hear about the positive things. But if something bad happens, it's going to be on the news, parents are going to hear about it, it's going to be broadcast on media, so then people get the negative news, but they never really hear the good news about education.
Economically, we may not be doing as well, but academically, the schools are improving. And we're looking at improvement over time. I see significant improvement in all the schools.
Often you have less here than some other parts of Mississauga.
I love the education system, and I've seen all the teachers put in the effort, so I think it's a wonderful place.
It takes a village to raise a child, and that you feel that you're part of that village. That Morning Star is something really special for you. When I look at our grade 8s and the amount of our grade 8s that have been accepted at the variety of regional programs that we have in PIA, I know that academically our students are being successful.
Everybody wants to be successful, and everybody wants to do as well as they can. From the kids, from the parents, from the people in the community, and from all of the staff that work here.
Students in Malton now have specialized programs such as IB, International Languages, Arts and Technology, and French Immersion. We also have SHISM programs such as Transportation, Hospitality, and Business, right here in the schools of Malton.
We do see crime in Malton schools, and it's nothing unique to Malton. It happens in every community within the region that we deal with.
There are a number of safety measures in place, such as information sessions, safety procedures, staff training, security cameras, foot patrollers, bus patrollers, adult supervision, and visits with the Peel Region Police.
Peel Region Police come into schools to educate and bring awareness among students as a proactive safety measure.
Our number one focus is taking care of the schools in the community. Our officers go out daily, Monday to Friday, and they're assigned to go to schools to be seen, as I said, as a sign of partnership with the community. Anybody who's thinking of doing any sort of criminal act to also know that, yes, the police are out there and they're watching. And that's how one of our strategies of keeping everybody safe.
If you think about all of the character education that we do, and the monthly assemblies, and the social skills classes, and all of the clubs that the teachers run at lunchtime and after school, and the mentorship that goes on, add to the safety of the school and the schools in the area already. And when we act like a village, in that we all support each other and help each other out and back each other up like we do, that's what makes us feel safe and be safe.
In some areas of Malton, lower socioeconomic can be an issue, because when you're working that hard to put food on the table and a roof over your head, education can be a little more difficult to obtain. We work from the same ministry standards, and we work hard at looking at class to class, are we achieving those standards, and from school to school, and we're measured with the same tools. so the standards are equally high in Malton.
Overall academics in Malton schools have been improving steadily since 2008 according to EQAO results.
They're on top of the map just like everyone else.
Those messages were out there when I was 10 years old, and I think to change historical messages is hard. And you need committed people who believe in it to do it. When people say to me, Malton, and they roll their eyes, I'm like, no, you don't know. Until you come in my school, you don't know. It is a great place.
Focus on your education. Education is power, and when you have that, you have power. And the other hand, I would say to the parents and the community, get involved in your school. Statistics shows that when parents are involved in the community, students usually do much better.
With all the successful Maltonians, it is clearly evident that Malton schools are safe with a high standard of education. Despite the many challenges that we face here in Malton, success continues to grow.
There is a general trend out there that Malton is not a safe place for children to grow up in. Is that true?
Safety and like the fears of safety are often exaggerated. If you look at Malton compared to any other city like in the States of a similar size, we're way safer in Malton.
It's a family community. By the way, Mississauga is the safest city in Ontario and in Ontario's safest province in Canada. So we are one of the safest cities in Canada. Now, is there the odd incident? Of course there is in Malton as there is anywhere else in Mississauga or GTA or in Ontario.
The community itself is very healthy. It's a very diverse community that has access to a lot of important healthcare places for people to get to see doctors, to seek help if they're not feeling well and that sort of thing.
We have a breakfast program and we have a lunch program. And it's really important for me as an educator and actually as a mother, it's important to ensure that the students have a healthy start to the day. In 2009, we were working with Peel Health Nurse and we actually changed all the foods within our cafeteria in the school. We have won the Healthy Eating Habits Choice Award. And one of the reasons we've done it is we've seen not only have our students change their eating habits, but we noticed that it is working because the students have continued to purchase the healthy foods that we have.
Due to the efforts of dedicated individuals and agencies, we finally have the Save a Food Bank in Malton. Malton Community Center offers a number of activities for residents 10 years and older. Sports, athletic, and culturally specific activities are offered. Subsidized programs are also available.
There are also free drop-in programs. There's also a pool and skating rink in Malton.
Malton students don't just succeed in academics, they also excel in athletics. Schools are important places for health screening tests such as dental and vision screening. Immunization clinics are also held at schools to ensure that children have the best health possible. Health nutrition programs are an integral part of all Malton schools.
I work out in the gym and it's always busy in there. The pool's always busy, and I think that speaks well to an interest in healthy living in this community.
If there's an alcohol or drug abuse problem, it does affect the community negatively. We have to be very cognizant of that. But it happens throughout the region. It happens everywhere. As the police, the biggest weapon we have against the fight against alcoholism and drugs is education.
Peel Regional Police provide us with programs to educate us about drugs, alcohol, cyber safety, and many more. PCHS has culture-specific health-related sessions, programs, and support services for youth, adults, and seniors.
Congestion can be a problem just because of so many people coming into the community and working here. So that's one area of concern for safety for people.
Malton is a safe place to live in. There are many road safety programs such as red light cameras, community safety zones, road watch, etc. that help keep Maltonians safe.
Is that we work very closely with the Peel Police, and from time to time you will see the police car park in the school parking lot, and most people mistook that for some kind of violence or some kind of inappropriate behavior happening within our school, in which that's not the case at all.
Bullying anywhere is something that we don't want to have, and so we're teaching the social skills, we're having mentorship programs, We make sure that kids feel comfortable coming to their teachers when they have problems. I think that's really important, that all kids know that they have the right to come to school and feel safe and be safe and feel like they're going to be heard and listened and valued.
All students are trained to follow these procedures in the first week of school in September.
This is a new security system that was installed in all schools this year. The school doors are locked for safety. Visitors have to ring the bell to be allowed inside.
Visitors and students arriving late or leaving the building during the day must sign in and out in the office. This helps the school to ensure the safety of all people in the building.
Malton schools have mock fire drills and lockdowns to ensure that we are prepared in case of a real emergency.
We received the Ministry 2012 Safe School Award, which we are very proud of. And we were one of, I'm not sure, I think it's one of 10 or 11 schools to receive that award. So that itself is an indication that we have been putting out a lot of different things or factors to try to contribute to the safety of the school.
In addition to our indoor facilities and opportunities, Malton has a number of parks, trails, and outdoor facilities. The residents of Malton must take advantage of these spaces. Students who are not very active can start with the simple step of walking to school. Malton Community Center has many programs and activities for all ages, but youth don't seem fully engaged. Community agencies are working to open up a Malton Youth Center. They are hoping that this will be ready by this summer.
Malton's previous reputation for high crime has decreased over the years, and it has become an increasingly safer community.